Hi guys, and welcome to day 10, our final day of this postpartum challenge. So until now we've done core mobility strength, core mobility strength, core mobility strength, 9 days, 3 separate levels, and we've kind of increased the difficulty as we've gone along. Today, day 10, we're going to do a little mixture of the 3. It's going to be a mixture of core mobility and strength, and just some of my favourite movements with a focus on back and the bum and opening up the hips and the shoulders. I'll try and give you different levels of each exercise so that you can do whichever one suits you. Let's get started. So starting on all fours, we're going to come into a cat-cow. Hands under the shoulders. If your wrists hurt, you can be on your fists like this. And we're just going to start by mobilising the back. I've woken up with a bit of a crick in my neck, so I'm really feeling this as I lift my neck back and I'm not able to go quite as far. So for you, it might be that your lower back hurts and you can't go all the way. It might be your neck, it might be your shoulders. Just do whatever feels good for you. Okay, we're going to do about 10 of these. Lifting your head up, breathing in, and then as you breathe out, rounding the back, going as far as you can. Maybe you're starting to feel those tight bits loosen up. My neck's feeling a little bit better, even just after that little bit of movement. Okay, so now we're going to go into our downward dog. Some of you might not be able to do this yet, so you're just going to hang out here on this cat-cow, but for those of you who can, you're going to come down, come into this downward dog, push your hips back, and push your chest all the way to your knees. Really try and open those shoulders up. And then back down onto all fours. It's 2 levels of this. Either you're just going to go back and forth. If your back hurts in this upward dog position, you're just going to stay here. But if you can, you're going to come all the way forward into an upward facing dog. Stretch your back all the way around, all the way up, and then all the way back into the downward dog. Okay, we're going to go back and forth between those 2, mobilising the spine, stretching out the front of the body, stretching out the back of the body. But if your back hurts in that upward dog position, some people just can't tolerate that. It takes a while to build into it. You're just going to stop on all fours. Breathe in and then breathe out as you push your bum back. Okay, so do whichever level feels good for you. Okay, we're going to do 2 more. Bum back. Stretch out the shoulders, and then all the way back up. Awesome. Okay, from here, we're going to come into our deep squat. So wiggle into that deep squat. If you still need to hold on to something, that's totally fine. You should hold on, get as low as you can, try and get both your feet flat on the floor. You should wiggle around here. We're going to go up, down, back and forth between those 2. Bum up in the air, stretch out the back of the legs, stretch out the lower back. We're just going to go back and forth between the deep squat into the forward bend. Okay, all the way down into that deep squat, relax into it, wiggle around for a second, then hands on the floor, bum up in the air, straighten your legs. Even if you're stuck up here, that's totally fine. If this is where you feel the stretch, that's totally fine. Then bend your knees, get down into that deep squat. Okay, it's wherever you're at. You might be stuck up here and then stuck up here somewhere. It's totally fine. Just work through your range of motion. You might be holding on to something. Back into the deep squat. And now we're just going to do a few stretches from one side to the next. It's so nice to twist the spine. Okay, again, you might be just working here. You might be able to twist all the way around. Awesome. Okay. Come and lie down on your back. We're going to get our bum working. Glute bridges. Squeeze all the way up to the top. Squeeze your bum. Feet about shoulder width apart, toes pointing out. Push those knees out over the toes. Push the knees out over the 4th toe. Okay, really squeezing your bum up at the top. Hold it for just a second up at the top. If you're feeling it in your lower back, you're probably arching your lower back too much. Just squeeze your bum a little bit more and flatten that back out. If you're feeling it in your hamstrings, your feet are probably too far away, then you need to bring them back in a little bit. If you feel it at the front of your legs, you probably don't have your feet wide enough. Really good squeeze up at the top. 3 more of these. 2, 1. Okay, so now we're going to do our either a heel slide or a crunch plus a heel slide, okay, whichever level is right for you. So if this felt good for you, if this heel slide still feels good for you, you're just going to breathe in and then breathe out. Feel that tummy come back in as you straighten the leg out. If the crunch felt good for you, you're going to take a breath in, crunch up, check that tummy's flat, and then as you breathe out, heel goes out. You can put one hand behind your head if your neck feels sore. Okay, so whichever version of this heel slide is right for you right now. I'm going to do 1 more on each side. I'm definitely feeling my abs on this one. Okay, then coming on up, we are going to do our squat, feet about shoulder width apart. If you need to, use a chair or a sofa. I'm going to do 10 of these. Bum back, knees forward and out over the 4th toe. Feet flat on the floor, back nice and straight. Okay, whatever height, whether you're working here or whether you're working all the way down into a deep squat, that's 3. It's the same technique, it's just lower down. If you're back round and you tuck your bum under, you want to keep it a little bit higher, really stick your bum out and stand back up. But you want to keep the chest out too, you don't want to be sticking your bum back. Okay, you want your bum going back and down, chest still up. That doesn't mean like this. Okay, your chest does come forward. See how nice and straight my back is. Get my hair out of my face. No idea how many we've done. Let's do 2 more. Last one. Okay, we're gonna do our single leg deadlift. A lot of you really struggled with this one or found the technique a little bit tricky. So we're gonna go through this again. Weight on one leg, second leg comes back. The leg that's on the floor stays slightly bent. You want to find that stretch down the back of the supporting leg. Back's nice and straight, trying to get as parallel as you can to the floor with your body and your leg, and stand back up. That was a long one, we won't do them all that long. We're going to do about 8 on each side. Okay, what you don't want to do is open your hips up like this. Don't try and keep up with my reps. I prefer you to do 3 good reps in this time than do 10 crappy ones. Okay, reaching that leg back, try and find that stretch. Don't open up the hips. So most of you are going to want to bend that supporting leg, but if you're super duper flexible, if you know you're just one of those people that bends in half, you might want to straighten the leg out. Okay, my hamstrings aren't very flexible, so I get stuck here. That's why I have a really big stretch, and if I go any further, I just bend from my spine. You don't want to do that. So if you're like me, or less flexible than me, then you're going to want to bend that supporting leg. Okay, 1 more on this side, and then we're going to switch sides. Okay, nice bend in this knee. We're at 8 minutes now. I actually have a timer today for the first time after doing a 10-day challenge. Keep that knee bent. Find that stretch down the back of this supporting leg. Try and keep your body and leg as parallel as you can to the floor. We're going to do 3 more. 3, 2, and 1. And then we're going to come onto all fours. We're going to do a bird dog, and we're just going to practice. We're going to do 4 of each. So first of all, we did 3 different types. So first of all, we're just going to do arms, okay? So bringing the arm up, twisting it around so the palm's facing in, and you want to lift it as high as you can without lifting your body. You also don't want to sink into the supporting arm. You want to push that arm away from the floor and lift the opposite arm up. Okay, imagine you've got a cup of hot coffee on your back and you don't want to spill it. Last one. Okay, that was more than 4. Again, if your wrists hurt, you can be here. Now we're going to do the legs. So I automatically shifted all my weight onto the opposite leg. You don't want to do that. Push the floor away with your arms, okay, and then you're going to push the left leg back, trying to keep the weight even between the right and left side so that you don't spill that cup of coffee on your hips. Switch sides. It's really hard to do. Flex that toe. Try and keep everything completely still. So if I lift my left leg up, I'm going to feel a lot of weight through my left hand. Okay, last one. And then we're going to do hand and leg. There's going to be 4 of these. Again, try and keep everything completely still. Last one on each side. And the last one. Cool. Last exercise. Switch, flip round. We're going to do a tabletop, hands behind you. This is going to be, if your wrists are really, really sore, you're just going to do a glute bridge, okay, like we did before. If your wrists aren't sore, or if they can handle it, we're going to do 10 of these. Lifting the hips up, okay? You want to push the chest up, push the knees out over the 4th toe, and squeeze your bum all the way up to the top. Try and get 90 degrees at your knees and at your shoulders. So you want to push the chest up. You don't want to be crouched around like this around the shoulders. You want to push the chest out and feel that really big stretch in your chest and probably behind the elbow and maybe in your wrists. All the way up. Just going to do a few more. If at any point it's too much, you're going to switch to the glute bridges. In yoga, they do it like this. I think you get way better stretch on your biceps and on your chest if you do it this way. Last one. Squeeze that bum all the way up to the top and back down. And that's it. That was the last of this 10-day challenge. So if you've made it this far, I want to thank you so much for joining me for this 10-day challenge. I don't take it for granted at all that you've made it all the way to the end. It's a really big deal for me, so thank you so, so much. A lot of you have kept me updated through emails or through Facebook, so I know that you've been doing really great and that you've really, really enjoyed it. But if you haven't sent me an email, please do, whether to tell me that you've enjoyed it, or if you have any questions, or if you're not sure about any of the exercises, or not sure about something like prolapse or diastasis recti or pregnancy, please let me know and I'll be more than happy to help point you in the right direction. If you do want to continue the journey, if you want to keep working like this in short 10 to 12 minute workouts, and if you enjoy this kind of level, this kind of flow, the whole concept of separating up core mobility and strength and working on them separately, then I would love for you to check out my online program, the Complete Postpartum Program. What we've done over these 10 days is just the beginning. There is so much more to discover. There are 4 levels of strength and mobility, and there are 5 levels of core. And then you move on to an intermediate program. Throughout the whole program, throughout the Complete Postpartum Program, I teach you how to properly train your core, how to get really mobile, release aches and pains, and how to properly and effectively use strength training with weights, with dumbbells and bands to get really, really strong and really bulletproof your body. Just like in this challenge, we have a private Facebook group where you can ask any questions. We have a members accountability program. We have coaching calls on different topics like beginners getting started, prolapse, fat loss. And through your membership, you have access to everything. There's nothing behind a paywall, and all future programs, including fat loss and running, how to get your first pull-up. There's so much on this program. So if you need help staying accountable and knowing what to do, then check out the Complete Postpartum Program. There's a link in the description below and teach you exactly how to get to your goals.
If it's not for you, that's totally fine too. Still really happy that you joined me on this program, but it is there to help you if you're stuck and if you feel like you just can't do it on your own, or if you don't want to think about it. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.